Tonight on Newscenter, the president hosts campus talk, the Vulcan football team travels up to Gannon, and the women's basketball team begins defense of its national title. All these stories and more next on Newscenter.
Good evening and welcome to CUTV News Center for the week of November 5th, 2015. I'm Zach Prospa.
And I'm Jennifer Germano. The California University community is sad to report of the loss of one of its own students, junior Mason Reef, in an automobile accident along Route 88. Mason was a radio TV major and was part of the fraternity Tau Kappa Epsilon. President Jones released the following statement, quote, "This is a sad day for our CalU community as we mourn the death of Mason Reef. The university extends heartfelt condolences to Mason's family, friends, and classmates," end quote.
This morning, President Geraldine Jones held her semesterly campus talk in the Performance Center. Some of the topics addressed by the president that were brought up by students included food services, campus housing, campus security, Natali Student Center renovations, student affairs, and academic programs. If you were not able to attend today's event, President Jones will be holding another campus talk during the spring semester. The CalU Young and Gifted Gospel Choir will be holding their annual dinner and benefit concert this Sunday, November the 8th at 4:30 in the Willow Room in Bell Vernon. The proceeds from this event will go towards establishing a scholarship for a gospel choir student.
The History Channel will be debuting a new 8-part series titled Hunting Hitler, November the 10th, that will include a CalU professor, Dr. John Sensich, which will be part of a team investigating recently declassified documents from the U.S. War Department that may debunk the theory that Hitler died by suicide. To watch the program, tune in to the History Channel at 10 p.m.
Although there has been recent studies showing loss of ice in Antarctica, a new study today found that more ice is actually growing than disappearing. The precipitation amounts have been enough to outweigh the losses of ice, even though global warming has come into effect.
To find out the latest news on campus and elsewhere, make sure you pick up a copy of the Cal Times when it is released every Friday around campus. Normally, we have editor Jose Negron tell us what the Times is working on, but he is out of town. This week in the Cal Times, CalU remembers student Mason Reef, an LGBT speaker talks about inclusive communities, and a preview of the California women's basketball team and its quest to defend its national championship. Be sure to pick up a copy of the Cal Times around California or check them out online at caltimes.org.
And Jen, you talked about that new show coming up on the History Channel, Hunting Hitler, that will debut this coming Sunday at 10 o'clock. You're a history major, so I'm sure that has to be exciting for you, and it's about maybe Hitler didn't commit suicide, which a lot of people are pretty sure about. What do you have to say about that being the history major?
Well, honestly, that's something I've never heard of, never even really thought about, because from what I remember learning, I haven't studied World War II in forever, but from what I remember learning, he was alone with only his girlfriend. And at that point, if he didn't commit suicide, that would mean she had to kill him, and then she was also dead. So then it would be, again, a suicide murder, but switched around. So that's interesting to me. I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, and I love World War II. I think it's my favorite war to study. I think it's my favorite subject in history classes. So it's going to be interesting to see. I may have to tune in and see, what do they find, and then especially having a CalU professor there. And coming up after the break, student meteorologist Damon Matson has your weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Since 1937, the Student Association Incorporated, known as SAI, has served the CalU student body by providing activities, programs, and services. Every enrolled student has the ability to take part in over 125 different clubs and organizations. Managing participation in every SAI activity is easy with OrgSync, a powerful tool for staying connected. Located 1 mile from campus, the SAI Farm has 94 acres of meeting and recreational space. SAI, it's your student association.
How's it going, Cal U? I'm student meteorologist Damon Matson up here at the Weather Center with your forecast for today. Let's take a look at those weather headlines for this week. We saw near record temperatures throughout the area for the most part at the beginning of this week. Actually, we almost set a record yesterday. I'll talk about that in just a minute. The clouds and the rain showers are returning to the area. You can see that a little bit today. I'll also talk about that further on into the forecast. And are we going to see the fall weather returning to our area this weekend? We'll find that out. Looking at that almanac from yesterday, again, that high temperature of 77 degrees, 1 degree off from our record in 2003. So it has definitely been quite warm out there of late. Even the low temperature, just about 20 degrees warmer than what we normally see this time of year. Looking at those temperatures throughout the area then today, it's low 60s for the most part throughout the area, 62 in Pittsburgh, 64 in Wheeling. We are seeing cooler temperatures out towards the East State College at 61, Johnstown at 58. But for the most part, other than a little bit of a warm up out to the central part of the state, it's staying right about where we were this time yesterday. But looking out into the Mountain West and into the Midwest, there is that cold front that I'm talking about that's going to bring the showers and the colder temperatures to our area. Behind it, you can see 35 in Rapid City, 33 in Denver. But for the most part, the eastern half of the country staying fairly warm. 71 in Memphis, 63 in Atlanta, and 65 in Pittsburgh. And looking at the change from yesterday, not much across the East Coast, but then again, behind that cold front, temperatures dropping 5 to 10 degrees compared to this time yesterday. Your forecast then for the rest of the day today is looking like this: 77 degrees, partly sunny skies throughout the rest of the day today. Enjoy that, because tonight the clouds are going to move back into the area. The low temperature is actually going to stay fairly warm still for tonight, around 60 degrees. But by tomorrow, the clouds are going to pick up. The showers are going to move into the area, possibly a couple of thunderstorms as well. High of around 70 degrees, so get your umbrellas out. And then for the rest of your weekend, for the 5-day Calcast, temperatures are going to drop off, low 50s Saturday and Sunday, but everything is going to dry out. And then Monday into Tuesday, the sun is going to stick around and temperatures are going to warm up into the mid-60s. Now, guys, we always talk about how we want the weather to make up its mind, and I think it's finally going to start getting there. But after all the warm temperatures we saw this week, it's going to finally cool down back into the 50s here for this weekend.
Which we hate for you to say, because, I mean, we're enjoying this, 80 degrees, and that has to be close to a record. I mean, we basically saw there. But all this warm weather just kind of came out of nowhere. But like you said, I think we're starting to dip back down. But why you got to bring the rain again? Why?
That's the only way we're going to cool it down, is if the rain comes back in.
But that's the only thing I don't like. If it's going to get cool, then we're getting closer to Christmas, and that's okay. But the rain with cold, that's just not okay. That's unacceptable in my book. It has to be warm with rain.
It's something I guess we just got to deal with. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
It's not your fault. You don't control what the weather will do. You just tell us what's going to happen.
You always end up taking our slack.
Yeah.
Thanks, Damon. When we come back, Ryan Kaufman takes over the entertainment report. Stay tuned.
Catch all the excitement under the Friday night lights with CUTV's High School Football Game of the Week. You have the best seats in the house as the area's longest-running high school football telecast, now in its 29th season, brings you the area's biggest games. Don't forget to watch the replay on CUTV, Sundays at 8 and Thursdays at 5:30. Since 1937, the Student Association Incorporated, known as SAI, has served the Cal U student body by providing activities, programs, and services. Every enrolled student has the ability to take part in over 125 different clubs and organizations. Managing participation in every SAI activity is easy with OrgSync, a powerful tool for staying connected. Located 1 mile from campus, the SAI Farm has 94 acres of meeting and recreational space. SAI, it's your student association.
Welcome back to CUTV News Center. I'm Ryan Kaufman with the Entertainment Report. The theater department is about to put on their latest play titled The Seussification of Romeo and Juliet. Curtain time for this event is 8 p.m. tonight and tomorrow, the 6th, and will also show on the 7th at 2 and 8 p.m. Tickets for students are 50 cents, and our own Mike May stopped by the department to interview a cast member for us.
Seussification is about, it's Romeo and Juliet, but it's a more modern take on it. It's Seussified, so it's a little more family friendly, a little more comedic than, it's not really a tragedy anymore, but it still has a lot of the same elements, plus a lot of Seuss stuff we all know and love. So it's, come see it. It's really great for the whole family, And I think it's something that has a little bit of everything for people to enjoy.
The famous roller coaster tycoon PC Empire is back and better than ever with their new game, Worlds. In the current pre-order time frame, you can not only buy the game, but you can also purchase the deluxe edition aptly named the Ultimate Collection. The Ultimate Collection also gives you the original game, the second, and the third for a low price of $74.99. And now it's time to see who in the world of politicians and celebrities made the biggest splash in the news in the last week. And let's just say that Taylor Swift can't shake this one off. She's being sued by an R&B singer known as Jesse Graham. He claims that Swift stole song lyrics from him in order to write her hit, Shake It Off. The lyrics in question are as follows. Because the player's gonna play, and the hater's gonna hate. Jesse is claiming those lyrics are in fact, even though they aren't actually similar in there, just different in length. His lyrics simply say, haters gonna hate, players gonna play. Rebel Wilson has made a splash in the entertainment world, again, for what she said on an Australian radio show. She is claiming she is better than any of the Kardashians. She was asked to present at the MTV Video Music Awards with Kendall and Kylie, but said, no, I'll do it myself. She also asserted that the only reason Kim got famous was for her sex tape, whereas Rebel worked hard and made it through acting school. Facebook will no longer allow any user to block the social media giant, also known as Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook has made no official statement on the matter and was only discovered by a user on Reddit. The option to block Zuckerberg is still on his page, but a warning pops up and tells you, no. The annual Country Music Awards were held last night, and one name stood out more than others. Chris Stapleton won in 3 different categories and walked away with the most awards. He won Album of the Year, Male Vocalist of the Year, and Artist of the Year. And to round out the entertainment report for this week, we have Ant-Man in the Vulcan Theater. Armed with the astonishing ability to shrink in scale but increase in strength, con man Scott Lang must embrace his inner hero and help his mentor, Dr. Hank Pym, protect the secret behind his spectacular Ant-Man suit from a new generation of towering threats. Against seemingly insurmountable obstacles, Pym and Lang must plan and pull off a heist that will save the world. All right, guys, so kind of big news on all of our fronts here, but my own front, I'm kind of proud about this. After Hours is going live next week for the first time. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely very exciting. I mean, for it to be a brand new show this semester in the fall and to go live as quickly as it has is a big accomplishment. I know myself and Matt over here on sports, we're part of High School Roundup, and we haven't gotten that show to go live. So this is a big accomplishment. And Ryan, I got to say, job well done by you to be able to get this going. Because, I mean, I've been part of it, Jen's been part of it, everybody has, but it's really your brainchild to get this show going.
Yeah, it's a really great thing to be able to get it up and started, just like Zach said, for you to get it going so quickly and have everyone interested. I think part of the reason that happened was because it is so widely expanded. It can go towards entertainment, it can have challenges in sports, and it can get a lot of different viewers. It's something that everyone's interested in, which I think is part of the driving force for why it's already going live. So congrats for you.
Thank you. And again, that's next Wednesday at 10:30. Little plug for it.
Thanks, Ryan. And when we return, Matt Hagee has your sports report. Stay tuned.
Watch CUTV online anytime, anywhere. Check out your favorite original programs, coverage of the biggest events on campus, and cheer on your Vulcan sports teams. CUTV. Log on. Tune in now. Visit cutv.calu.edu/live.
The time is now, the place is here. Stop running, face your fear. When it all comes down to this, you only get one shot, can't afford to miss. The time is now, the place is here. Stop running, face your fear. When it all comes down to this, you only get one shot, can't afford to miss. So, let's get it, let's go. Go hard and go home.
Welcome back to CUTV News Center. I'm Matt Hagee with your sports report. McConnell Family Stadium in Erie was the site of the next contest for the Cal Vulcans football team last Saturday as they squared off against the Gannon Golden Knights and looked to spoil the Knights Senior Day. Let's go to the highlights from Gannon University in McConnell Family Stadium. As you see, California here, they get the scoring started early. James Harris to Gary Brown, just like last week against Clarion, and the Vulcans take an early 7-0 lead. Now, in Gannon's first offensive play of the game, quarterback Liam Nodler is hit, and California recovers, and they are set up in business to expand on their 7-0 lead. And it looked like they were going to do that right here. As you see, John Franklin looks like he's going to continue his scoring streak, but he fumbles the ball into the end zone. Gannon recovers. That is a touchback and Gannon ball. It's a big turnover right there. But California would get it right back 2 plays later after Chaz Veal bounces the football around like a hot potato and comes up with it. That is going to be one of many turnovers that California has forced here. And then California would take advantage this time as you see Kawan Scott here go up over the Gannon defender and hold on to the ball, wrestle the ball away from the Gannon defender. An incredible catch and made it 14-0 Cal U. Now Gannon's trying to cut into the lead here with a field goal, but it's a botch snap, and backup quarterback Zach Phillips, the holder, has to throw the ball away. Remember that name, Zach Phillips. We might be seeing him in a little bit. Now James Harris, the first play after that botched field goal, goes downfield looking for Kawan Scott, wide open. He goes 89 yards for the touchdown, and California is rolling here in Erie, 21-0. And now here's John Franklin. This time he holds onto the ball as he goes into the end zone and continues his touchdown scoring streak, 9 for 9, his 13th of the season. And you know it's going right when you see James Harris execute perfectly a read option going to the quarter of the end zone, not known for his legs right there. It is 35-0 California in the first half. Now Gannon would fight right back. Here's Zach Phillips taken in for the injured quarterback Liam Nodler. He gets it to Brock Jones, who goes into the end zone. They give Gannon a score right before halftime. And Gannon would get the ball first in the second half, but the opportunistic California defense comes up big again. Jordan Bowman there with the interception of Zach Phillips. Turnover number 3 on the day. And now Gannon here, they looked like at one point they were going to fight back and try to come back in the game. Brock Jones from 4 yards out, but California would slam the door pretty quick. Jimmy Wheeler, the freshman sensation, said that many times this year. He goes to the corner of the end zone. This kid's impressive. 42-14 California. Now Gannon trying to get back into the game early on in the fourth quarter here. Zach Phillips intercepted again, this time by Isaiah Scott. Turnover number 5 on the day for the Golden Knights. They would score a touchdown, but then Gannon's last drive right here, intercepted by Brendan Blair. Another interception, 6 turnovers, and gets German suplex there by Brock Jones. And the Vulcans come away with a huge win on the road against the Gannon Golden Knights, who improved their chances of making the NCAA playoffs. Kawan Scott had a massive game with 151 yards and 2 touchdowns and 69 yards short of becoming the all-time leading receiver in Cal history. The duo of Franklin and Wheeler combined for 163 yards and 2 scores, while as a team, the Vulcans ran for over 200. Now this Saturday, the Vulcans welcome in the Mercyhurst Lakers for the annual Senior Day contest. The Vulcans have not defeated the Lakers since 2011, and kickoff is slated for 1 o'clock, and if you cannot make it to Adamson Stadium, CUTV will have a live broadcast of the game on calvulcans.com, and then a rebroadcast on CUTV, as always, on Monday at 6 and Tuesday at 4. Now on the volleyball, the Cal women's volleyball team welcomed in local rival Seton Hill Tuesday night as the Vulcans look to continue their recent hot streak. And now let's go to the highlights from the Convocation Center. And Seton Hill started off early here. They beat Cal earlier in the year 3 sets to 1. And they got to start early, but California comes right back here. Danielle Hayes with a great kill to tie it up at 1. And this first game was pretty close. See, the teams traded the lead, and Ashley Leto, see a lot of her in this game. She had a big game using the line to tie it up at 7. And again, Danielle Hayes again giving California the lead in this first game. And California would continue success. A lot of contributions. You see Miranda Fozzi right there. And then, but Seton Hill wouldn't go away there. They would block Cal and give them a chance. But California would put away the first set right here, and forcing a Seton Hill mistake to make it 25-22. First game set win for California. And in the second game, California picked right where they left off. They blocked Seton Hill at the net there to get the first point of the set. And California would add to their lead. Mary Lavery, she had another big game for the Vulcans, is 6'4". And it's, again, another close contest, but great effort there by Mary Lavery. It looked like it was going to be a point for Seton Hill, but then they forced Seton Hill into an error. Gives California a 15-13 lead at that time in the set. And they would go on here to take the second set. You see Lavery again using the line, getting the point, and California had a 2-0 set lead, and in the third game, it was all Vulcans. They dominated from this first point here, blocked away, hit a Seton Hill player in the face, and it would continue on. You can see right there, 24-14, and it's going right. The ball gets over the net, gets the ace, and the Vulcans sweep the Griffins just as they did in the PSAC championship game a year ago. Mary Lavery and Ashley Leto led the way with 12 kills, while Megan Litoborski compiled 34 assists. After a tough start, the Vulcans sit one game out of the final playoff spot in the PSAC West with 4 games left. This weekend, Cal will hit the road to face IUP and Clarion. Before the regular season begins, the California Vulcans women's basketball team normally plays a Division I school for an exhibition contest. This year, the Vulcans traveled up to face the Penn State Lady Lions. Now let's go to the highlights from the Bryce Jordan Center in beautiful State College. You see the defending national champions right here. New uniforms, new warm-up uniforms. And Jess Strom, she used to play for the Lady Lions, and she gets honored there for leading the Vulcans to the national championship. And California here gets started early. You see Precious Martin and Cece Dixon, 2 contributors looking to take a starting role this season. And then Mickey Glenn, can't say enough about her. She scored 31 points in the national championship game last season, and it shows her game off right there, driving to the basket and putting in the 2 points for California. Now, it was going to be tough for California to win this game. It's a Division I school, the Lady Lions, impressive team, Big Ten champs 2 years ago. And Paige Wright, trying to avoid injuries this year, hits a nice 3. And then more action here from the Lady Lions. They're going to look to be improved from last season. A lot of talent all around, one of the better programs in the Big Ten Conference. And then right here, Shatara Parsons, she had a nice game as well. The sophomore looks to have a breakout season as well. And then one of the newest Vulcans, Emily Suckling from Australia, gets the point. And then Sammy Weiss, her first point as a Vulcan with the free throw, the freshman from McGuffey, local McGuffey, and Cece Dixon pointing the points. But the Vulcans dropped the exhibition to the Lady Lions 84-58. The result in these games do not matter as they serve as a good experience for the Vulcan players. Mickey Glenn led the team with 15 points and was complimented by Shatara Parsons, cashing in 14 points and 6 rebounds. For the California women's basketball team, you know the story. Faced with unthinkable tragedy, these ladies came together to win the national championship last season. Now the team has to replace key members but still look to be the team to beat this 2015-16 season. Here's a preview on this upcoming season.
The Vulcans overcoming the toughest of tragedies. And in 2015, they are the champions in Division II.
The last time we saw the California women's basketball team, they completed an improbable and inspiring run to win the school's second national championship. While that was an amazing story, key members of that championship team are gone. Gone is Irina Kuko, Emma Mahadi, and Caitlin Frotz, 3 members that made that team click. But returning is Mickey Glenn. The junior had an unbelievable postseason stretch that included 2 30-point performances, one of those coming in the national championship game. Now Glenn looks to win PSAC West Player of the Year.
Mickey's huge for us. She's been a leader since she's stepped on campus, but I think even this year she's going to have to score a little bit more for us. You know, we lost a lot of points, and looking for her to step up.
Also returning is reigning PSAC West Freshman of the Year, Sierra Barrett. Barrett, who took the team by storm last season, looks to carry on success into her sophomore season.
Sierra Barrett, you know, she had a great freshman year, but you know, there's always that sophomore year. So, you know, I'm looking for her to just do the same thing she did last year. You know, she's a walking double-double, so hopefully, you know, she'll step up big for us this year.
The competition in the PSAC will be tough as ever as they have all placed a target on Cal's back. Everyone will be gunning for the Vulcans this season. But with Coach Strom leading the way, Cal will look to successfully defend their national championship with some familiar faces and some new young talent as well.
Our goals are the same as any season. You know, you want to win championships, but you start day to day. You know, we're trying to get better daily in practice. You know, work really hard, get after it, and see what happens.
Now it's time for the Hagee 6. Here are 3 games from both college football and the NFL that I feel will be the top games to watch this week. We start with college, and this is a massive week of college football, starting with a pair of games at 3:30 as the Florida State Seminoles travel to face the Clemson Tigers, the #1 team in the college football playoff rankings. Then a battle of unbeatens in Stillwater as the TCU Horned Frogs face off against the Oklahoma State Cowboys. At 8, we see the game of the week in the SEC where Leonard Fournette and the LSU Tigers travel to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama for supremacy in the SEC West and a spot in the playoff top 4. For the NFL at 1, we see a matchup between 2 teams battling for wildcard spots with the Rams and the Vikings. Also at 1, the game of the week as the Packers look to bounce back against the unbeaten Panthers in Charlotte. And finally, at 4:25, the also unbeaten Broncos travel to Indy to take on the struggling Colts. But wait, we have a new segment added on to the Hagee 6 with what I like to call the doormat of the week. The worst game I found digging through all the college games, and it is a battle of 1 and 8 teams with the Eastern Michigan Eagles taking on the Miami of Ohio Red Hawks at 2:30. I don't know if that game's going to be on TV. Probably not. But anyway. So, guys, Cal football. 2 weeks ago, we didn't think this would be possible, but they could be in the playoffs. They're really close to making a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's improbable, it seems, after back-to-back losses against Slippery Rock and IUP, but this is basically the exact same situation as last season. Going into the Mercyhurst game, Cal has a shot making the playoffs. They lost to Mercyhurst in a huge shootout last year. If they can beat Mercyhurst this week, I think they're right on the cusp. They need some help, though, I think, before you can cement yourself as a playoff team.
I'm really hesitant to say that they will get in, though, even though I would like to see them get into the playoffs, just because they have had those 2 back-to-back losses. I'm not entirely sure they do have, like what you said, they need that extra thing. I'm not entirely sure they have that extra piece to put together, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to find out.
And I'll say, I think the big thing behind it is the play of the defense, causing a whole lot of turnovers, 12 in the last 2 games combined, and James Harris. He had some struggles in the middle of the season, but he's really started to correct those, and I think he's really helping himself and this team get back to where they want to be and a possible playoff contender.
The Vulcans have not made the NCAA playoffs since 2011, my freshman year, so it's been a while. I'd like to see them back.
Yeah, since we've been here, they've not been in there. Be nice to see. We saw the women's basketball team make a run last year. Maybe we can see the football team maybe get in there and do the same. So, thanks, Matt. That'll do it for this week's edition of Newscenter.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel at CUTV News Center.
Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.